You're listening to ArTEEtude, a podcast with artists created and produced by Detlef Schlich, a visual artist and ritual designer, living and loving in West Cork, and best known for his essay about the cause and effect of shamanism, art and digital culture. Working in the field of performance, photography, painting, sound, installations, and film, he will dive and discover with us and a weekly creative guest into the unknown and exciting deep ocean of the creative mind.
This is Detlef Schlich, and today we dive into the deep and unexpected, exciting ocean of the creative mind, and actually of the future of our creative minds and of our creativity with Dirk Schlömer. Hi, Dirk.
Hello.
Dirk,
Hi, Dad.
Dirk is a long old friend, and we have a lot of things in common. We both are from Cologne. We both are living in exile since 20 years. You moved over with 40 to Berlin.
Yes. That's which is very far from Cologne, within Germany. You know, for Cologne people, this is very far away.
It could be already in part of Russia, actually. You know. So,
Yes, seen from the Rhineland, it's nearby Russia.
If the history would written a little bit different, it would be already Russia.
Yeah.
See, like
just
that.
little changes, some little changes.
yeah, but it is sometimes like I say.
It's the reason why I went here. You know, in the end, it's really a different, a different mentality, of course, and it's a different climate.
Probably
people only rarely talk about that, but this is already very. It's like transcontinental,
multicultural,
transcontinental.
As well, yes.
It's coming from it's coming from Moscow somehow. You know, it's very dry. It's very cold.
Okay.
I like that a lot because Cologne is, as you know, very wet and very warm. So I don't like that rainy, warm winter days. You know, in Cologne.
Okay, really, so you really the climate is so different that in the summer as well.
Yeah. It's very hot in Berlin too, but it's not that high. What do you say? Luftfeuchtigkeit.
Humidity.
Humidity.
It's not humanity. It's humidity.
Humidity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one aspect. But we talked about this Russia thing.
Yeah.
So and the climate is a part of it. Climate is part of it.
Yeah. Cool. And so we both live in exile. And I moved over almost 20 years ago to Ireland. He to Berlin. We both are from Cologne, and I think everyone who comes from this area would already guess it that Dirk is coming from Cologne. So you can't deny it, you know. So,
no, never. Neither by the language nor by the mentality.
And I have to say it again. So Cologne and Cork is very close, you know. And
they're partner towns, yeah.
Yeah, twin towns, and
great.
And they. Well, I must say, the people from Cologne and people from Cork, they belong somehow together. I mean, they were very, very similar. They love to party and all that, you know. So it is really, and I mean, like I say, all this. If I tell you how many carnival songs are here from traditional Irish songs, you know.
That's right. We talked about it in the first
It's-
part, I guess.
It is, yeah. The Ornah, they I don't say steal. I mean, they were very clever, you know. So to take Irish traditionals and transform that into the Cologne Carnival, you know. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that-
that's not just one thing. You know? Like there are plenty others. Like you could listen already in the second part to Anime, Pandemie, Anime, Ich kann me. That was Dirk's Kölsche answer. Kölsch is the name, the slang from Cologne. Kölsche answer of our current glitch.
It's my answer to COVID.
Yeah, yeah, where we still are. And so the first part was past. Second part was the present, and like I tried to keep the concept going. You know, on this Sunday, the third part is the future, and we already had in the second part. We spoke about the obstacles of artists in nowadays that you just can't survive with applications, and these obstacles that renewal doesn't really exist anymore. Somehow, I mean, it exists, but
It exists, but it's something for let's say nerds or people that are really into music listening, but not for the normal user anymore.
yeah. And I really wonder. So because if artists say. And I must say, I mean, if people don't know Dirk is a German composer, producer, vocalist, guitar, and keyboard player. He used to play in many bands, so I think he's the right partner to philosophize about that, because he knows a lot about this business, this artist business in general, actually. And we had in the second part we are considered of us artists how can we survive as artists, not just now money wise, as well soul wise, because in order to cope with the requirements of the economy in the 21st century, in the second decade, or actually we now already in the third decade, you know. First, second, third decade.
Yes.
You have to be multifunctional and universal. That means you have to be your own producer, your own crossover marketing promoter, everything.
Your own promoter, your marketing man. You have to be your post guy. You have to do the post. You have to be a manager. You have to be a tax maker, or what's it called? You have to really go to all this the institutions. They are no longer available on telephone or on letter, but you have to go online to what's that word,
to distribute your message.
Yeah, to make your official, to make your things official. Yeah.
What happens subsequently is the huge question: what is about the soul of an artist? I mean, we had in the 20th century, it was the age of the reproduction already. You know, of the loss of an aura of an artwork, actually, in a visual artwork due to reproduction. You know. I mean, I had a chat with friends of mine actually yesterday about that, and they said, I think there are not many people who really appreciate this anymore, because everyone, especially the digital natives, I mean, they are already now 20 as well, you know.
Yes,
and they grow up already.
With it, and you have to be honest to yourself. You or me, we are not, of course, listening to all the stuff we get to know. There's so much going on. There's so much diversity. You can't listen to all of that anymore. You know, when we grew up, there was a kind of clear structure to it. There was only few bands that you need to let to come in. You know, when you had 10 albums a month, you knew everything. You had everything that was important. But nowadays you have 10 albums within a special file, like dub rock, space dub, reggae dub, dub. You know, within such a little small file, you have like 10 diverse regions or directions, and that's splitting up the whole rock, pop, groove area to hundreds or thousands of different directions. You can't listen to all of that. I don't. You don't. So one has to make a choice. Anyway, has to make a choice.
But I still find every then and now some rough diamonds, you know, where I say, wow, you know, so where I say, that is great that nowadays that there are still bands or singers who really can touch me, you know, so that is still possible.
It is.
So sometimes,
but you have to.
So sometimes I wonder if our perception is so that we sometimes over exaggerating it, because we are now already almost 60, and happy birthday, Dirk! It is 2 weeks ago on Sunday. Was his 60th birthday? It still takes
61.
61.
61 I am, man.
Okay.
It's really serious. It's serious.
Yes. So old Tyrannosaurus Dirk.
Yeah. Yes. Old white man.
Yeah, so I mean it's ridiculous nowadays. You know, it's to say we're 60. You know, so I think everything, we all know that everything changed, and that the old 60 is now the new 40 and whatever. So
I can tell all the young people it goes very fast.
It goes.
You think you're young. You think it will last like an eternity till you're old. But then one day you wake up and you see, oh, I'm getting 50. I'm becoming 55. Oh, 60 is coming up. You still feel like 25 or 30, don't you? Yeah, I see myself as maybe 30 or something.
Especially after I stopped smoking and stopped drinking.
You feel younger and younger and younger, yeah?
Yeah. But you see, and that's why I really like to speak with you actually about in the third part about the future of creativity, you know, and of artists, because there must be a future, and for us as well, because in a worst case scenario we pass away after the podcast, or hopefully not in the middle of
not in the middle, only after.
Yeah. Maybe after our promotion, whatever, you know, and the better case scenario in 10 years, best scenario was 80 or maybe 90. You know, you never know, you know. So that means that even we can have 10, 20, maybe 30 years more productive times, you know, and
yes.
How can we achieve it that we still feel somehow accepted for ourselves and somehow happy in these times without making yourself ridiculous, and that's, I think, as well one of the main things, or to still feel, in order to that it's fun, you know. I mean, in my case, for instance, that all the promotion what I'm gonna do almost every day. Sometimes I have to push myself. Sometimes I really like it, you know, to get a new application. I have to think about, shall I put 17 euro into this application? Because I mean, normally I don't have the money to buy it. But then I say, okay, this is for a year, and maybe in a year you'll laugh about it, and it's just 2 bottles of wine. So get it, you know. And then I get it, and then all of a sudden I see, it's actually quite nice. It makes quite nice images, you know. So it supports my my visual artistically idea, you know, and I still have to discover how research as well. How do other artists work with it? You know, I mean, that's what you learn, especially I think as a visual artist. That research is a huge thing. You know, the thing when we were 20 or whatever, and where we thought, okay, I have to create something completely new with my music. You know, it is almost impossible. That I've learned in my studying. 4 or 6 years studying art, you know, that it's more about researching the other artists and referring to it with saying, okay, with an understanding that you say, yeah, we're gonna go into the future, you know. So it is, everything is flowing and continuous and going and da, you know. So with these applications, I learn now, you know, and that's in the worst case scenario is I'm not in the mood or not motivated, and I say, oh, no, I don't want, you know. But the good thing is we don't have a producer. We're gonna do anything on our own, so we still can decide if we're gonna do it or not. So
it's a lot of things that you mentioned now.
Yeah.
Aspects of the thing.
Yeah.
I would like to start with something that you said at the end of our second talk.
Yeah.
That you see yourself as a digital shaman. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would put that to the beginning and say, if it's a shamanistic thing still going on,
yeah,
then you need to start with the soul. Yeah. The only point to start with,
yeah,
to cope with, is your soul.
Yeah.
Is your spirit, and that has to be the guide in everything you do. And I think that's the difficulty at the same time, because when you talk about applications, and also the advantages of modern apps and plugins and new programs, and you can, when you watch yourself, you buy it, you get it, you start working with it. What is your own? Where is the point where you put in your own? Yeah, this is very, very important, because as long as you just use it as a finished can that is already done.
Like
You
loops,
will not-
like loops. Like if you
yeah.
use Ableton and you use already the loops, you know. So
Yeah,
we live in an age. We are consumer and producer in personal units, you know.
That's right. You're absolutely right. You're already using a lot of energy that has gone into that one loop. I thought I had that thought just yesterday when I'm using that plugin Arcade. I don't know if you know it.
I researched a little bit,
output.
but I still didn't buy it.
Yeah, you can't buy it. You can only lease it. By it costs $10 a month.
Okay.
And you get always online. Every day you have new sounds. They have about 40 lines.
Okay.
70s, 60s, soul, classic, and you have orchestra samples on and on, thousands of. But I heard a upright bass loop.
Yeah.
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 Jazzy,
Yeah.
and I used it and I liked it a lot, and started a track with that, and then I thought, referring to you now,
Yeah.
how much knowledge, how much practice, how much experience has already been done before you can make a loop like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we know. I think for myself, I can say I can appreciate it, because I'm a guitarist. I know what it costs to have a good finger style and all of that. But I'm worrying about younger people, if they know that, if they still know that.
This knowledge is getting lost for sure, you know.
Yeah.
This
So for them it's the same. It's electronic. If somebody played it, if it's soul music, if it's jazz, if people had to really hurt themselves to reach that point, They don't know it anymore.
But I mean,
I'm in fear.
this knowledge is getting lost. I mean, not today and not tomorrow, but if you're looking back to the 20th century, you know, we this expression, our knowledge is built on the shoulders of giants, you know.
Yes.
I mean, you can see it, for instance, now again as well with all this vaccination things that people are getting used somehow as guinea pigs. If it's now for the good or for the evil, is debatable. I don't want to go into that, but this is as well. I mean, maybe in 50 or 60 years, nobody will remind themselves that people used to die for that. Or take, for instance, around 1900 as the 1901 or so, where people still struggled with electricity, you know. So, and if it comes to blood pumping in the hospital, they had to do it manual with a pump and you know?
Yeah, manual. Somebody had to struggle with it.
Yeah. No? So these are all parts. Or another example, what I think is for this discussion where we're gonna go into the future, maybe interesting. If you remember around 1100, we still used to be the mumbling readers. That means if we read a book, we had to read it loud. Oh, this is because reading,
and the Lord said,
because reading was coming from the mouth to the ear, to the brain.
Yeah.
And we were not trained due to syntax issues in the writing line,
just in the mind,
to read in silence. You know, I mean, a few clever people, yes, but the majority not. No? So one of the monks, Hugo Saint Victor, he used to live close to Paris, and he had his pupils around. You know, he was a social worker probably as well. You know, he started to develop the Dicteleron or something. Like he started to develop a syntax in order to create a tool to learn that. And it took
kind of artificial.
Yeah.
Interface, an interface.
I mean, it was actually so. What he did, he changed the way how people read things, the code. He changed the code for the humans. You know, that means in 50 years, people used to be able, you know, and I mean, you know,
able to translate.
What's the mouth and you know, so that means then a short while later, I mean, then as a couple of 100 years later, as Gutenberg came with his coding, a lot of people were already able to read in silence. I mean, and the development of our brain in this time was. I mean, it is very abstract, but I can understand that. You know,
I see what the point is, and I agree with you. When I look at my daughter, who is already 30, she's not 18 or 20, she's 30.
Yeah.
But for her, the smartphone is, of course, for half of her life, it's normal.
The what?
So the smartphone, as an invention, is normal to her because she used it since she's 15. So I see already in this generation that they are using it different to us. For them, it's like another part of their body. It's a part of their body.
But still, currently still external, you know?
It's external, but are they doing it like half conscious?
So,
you know,
so
doing it all the time.
And that's what I mean now, you know? So that, and I think really we have to understand our decade. I mean, the 10, 20 years, it's just an introduction of the change of our humans. And I mean, like I say, already in the second part, as I researched and I wrote my thesis about art, shamanism, and digital culture, and I was really philosophizing about the cause and the effect about it. I realized a lot, you know, where we're coming, where we're going, you know. And the thing is, I mean, if take for instance Ray Kurzweil, he's the engineer of Google. He actually invented as well the Kurzweil piano.
Right.
He predicted already the singularity for 2045. That means the artificial intelligence, and so far that we are able to copy mapping our brain, so our consciousness, which is debatable as well, because then the philosophical question comes up: where is the soul then in this moment? So where
Yes.
is it?
But
But if I make a jump back then to 1100 and the explanation, so how our brain already changed then, for me, it's actually just then a matter of time. The acceptance, if it's I mean, currently it's not imaginable to think about an upload of our brain, of our consciousness somehow.
Yeah.
But
maybe brain, but not the consciousness. I don't think so. I'm
because
very
we need
aware.
we need the body, and if the upload of the brain would be just information, and it's very abstract to understand that. But I said that this we still thinking probably not enough out of the box, because when we see already now that we humans lose our ability for the time to understand where a loop is coming from, and that will happen, maybe in 50, 67 years, if nobody is there anymore who tells you that a loop is actually coming from a bass player, and maybe nobody is interested then in a bass line anymore, because we're in 70 years already so digitally sophisticated that we probably getting aesthetically wise more excited when we listen just to Morse code, for instance, just for
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now back to the show.
Because it goes quicker, and anything else is not interested for us anymore,
Yeah, you can, of course, postulate possibilities like that, but I'm very conservative, I have to say, in that sense.
I would like to be.
I'm very conservative because you mentioned something before. You said you couldn't do 10 or 12 hours online if you didn't have the nature around.
Yeah.
So, if we go back to nature, you can look at the best games around with the virtual, with having this all around
this
what's
VR
it called?
glasses,
to have the maximum experience. It will never ever be as intense and real as a waterfall, as a rainbow, as the smell of grass, as a cat. My cat is a wonder. It's a miracle. Sorry. But you know what I'm talking about. These things never change. And still, all the time, we postulate that we're close to encoding it, decoding it, understanding it. But we never will. The miracle, and in that sense, I'm a shaman. I'm a mystic. I believe that there is a rest remaining. There's something remaining, which is the miracle.
There will be, So, I mean, and I'm very much for the re-spiritualization of society as well,
Yes. I believe there is something remaining. And when I say we're standing on the shoulders of giants, I hope it's not too political. A little story. I saw a very talented young colored girl on TV a few days ago.
Yeah.
And she was of course talking about the bad white man who suppressed her elder generations.
Yeah.
And how she came to Germany. She was Afro-German.
Okay.
And she was sitting on a nearby a Steinway a Steinway piano.
Yeah.
And what I thought, and then she played a very, very small tune. She just played a few notes. It was not very magical. You know what I want to say? Standing on the shoulders of giants. Okay, you can complain. You can
all right.
ask for.
Okay,
You
so
can ask for rights.
Yeah.
You can ask for rights. You can ask for more power. Empower yourself. But please stay aware of the tools that you are using, for the skills that you are consuming all the time. Yeah, and this was done by old white men. Yeah. Most of the inventions, like a Steinway piano, it's a wonder. It's a really a wonder. It's a fantastic thing, and you have to really know what you're doing to create an instrument like that. And I think even people who are talking about revolution and change and the power, the age of feminine, and so on. Please don't forget what you are using.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, appreciation for things like this should be there all the time, you know. But I still I worry, you know. I mean, like you just said, you know, if this young lady speaks about magic and plays in just one tune, you know, and we know that already now from it is the youngsters, they if you listen to them, how they arrange a song, so they speak like a huge professionals, you know, because you can copy and paste it already from YouTube and from everywhere, you know.
Yes.
And that means the knowledge, which is good because it democratizes creativity, is available for everyone, you know. Okay.
That's right.
But then we come again then to this thing. Sure, it makes it available for everyone. It's democratized. Everyone can play it if he or she is a little bit more enthusiastic to learn it, you know. And everyone is be a pop star, like Andy Warhol already mentioned that and Joseph Beuys, you know,
in the 70s or something.
Which is,
yes, that's right.
huh? So it is very ambivalent and very difficult to say now. So is it right or is it wrong? You know. So because on one hand side we destroy an elite with all these applications and with this democratizing, but on the other hand side we're creating with Steine, we're creating a monster or sounds a little bit pathetic. Not it's a little bit over.
It's fact is it's getting faster and faster and faster. That's right.
Yeah. So, but we are still we both we are probably now almost all 60 years we're on this planet. We are surely attached to our reality, to grass, to the nature, and but I'm quite sure that the next generations that they are able, because the accessibility and the acceptance of getting a chip in the head, and that this chip in your head creates already the same feeling, the stimulation, maybe more than real nature creates it for us. This will come, you know, and maybe, sometimes I'm thinking about that. Maybe it can be for the good, because if that happens, that means people they can have already their surrogates in the virtual normality, and they don't have to touch nature anymore in order to leave nature alone. You know, that means the planet could grow again and could get back to normality. You know, so this.
Hey. This is the consequences. Yeah, this is not the near future, probably, but
not
it's
the
possible.
Near future. It is one possibility. The other possibility is as well that we becoming more and more used to technology to photosynthesis, for instance, and that we don't.
As you said, synthesis. Yeah. This is my last contribution I can do for today.
Yeah.
I would like to say my philosophy is always like it must be a fusion, a synthesis. Yeah? If you lose the contact to the physical reality, if you lose... This is, you know the film by Wim Wenders, The Sky Over Berlin.
Yeah.
Himmel über Berlin.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it for a long time, so you have to
the thing that the angels admire humans the most for is the ability to taste, to smell, to scan, to see, to have the seven senses.
Yeah.
To
okay,
have
okay,
the senses and to feel it, to touch it.
Yeah.
And that this will, I hope, I guess, I'm pretty sure, will never change. And we need a synthesis of these two worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No,
You
I
have to
agree. I agree. I think I agree completely, and probably because we are already. I mean, you're probably my longest talk guests, which I had.
Yes, but
normally
Yeah,
I can stick to 20-25 minutes, but I think every one of ours is more than 30 minutes already. So and I stick to that absolutely, because I'm really I agree that we should find ways to re-spiritualize ourselves somehow, because we are still humans, and our beating heart is still working, and as long as this is the case, we should find for us ways and solutions how we can embrace us, and how we can make it nicer for every one of us on this planet, in order that we avoid suffering.
yeah. All right, Dad. This is a nice. Let's put it as a conclusion, okay?
Yeah. And on this note, I would say, so we listen now again to one song of you, and do you tell us what is about and everything?
Yeah. I think my personal therapy in the last 10, 15, 20 years already again is the called ornamental. Yeah, this is an act that started with downbeat, dub basses, and it helped myself to become more calm and peaceful. So, and in the meanwhile, I released 7 albums with ornamental music, long
7?
tracks.
Wow!
Yeah,
wow.
there's 7 albums.
That's
And
great.
I would like you to play a song that's called Caravan.
I'm looking forward.
It's a new song. It's for you. It's exclusive. It's from the forthcoming double CD called Strong and Stable, which is in itself a title we could talk about 2 hours or something.
Probably more.
Strong and Stable, yeah. Yeah, it's called Caravan Part 2.
Great. So, dear listeners, and thank you very much, Doug. And we're gonna listen to the song. See you. No, actually, hear you in a minute. Bye.
Bye-bye.
right, that was nice. It was actually good for our still human brain, which were
Yeah.
still restricted with informations and that. And like I say, it was a great talk. It was really, the song was great as well. I mean, I'm looking forward to listen to the other parts of Ornamental, the last album, number 7. I have to admit, I listened to your first. It wasn't the first. I don't know. So it was one. What was it? Ornamental. Which album was it? Was it Tabula Rasa?
Okay. Tabula Rasa is a different project.
Was it?
Tabula Rasa is a project in itself.
Yeah, so that was actually then. Listen probably to Tabula Rasa. God, that.
Yeah. So the whole ornamental thing is still unidentified country for you.
I'm not sure now because, like I say, I think it was Tabula Rasa because I really liked it and it was very, very Prince-like somehow. So very funky.
It was very funky, and but with vocals, but still with vocals.
Yeah, and
ornamental is more.
This reminded me from Violent Femmes a little bit as well. It was for me. It was a mix between Prince and Violent Femmes. So
now I see. Okay, but ornamental is even more instrumental.
Okay, cool. That's great. So yeah, dear listeners, you can get all this
stuff
on Dirk's Spotify and Bandcamp, which is all in my description here. And next week you can see it as well on YouTube, and there you can see the links again as well. So that will all happen.
Okay.
And I would say on this note, I just have to mention as well my new projects. This is one of my new projects, the cup. That is actually this is my new project. It's your project, yes, the cat.
Yes, okay.
But here I'm allergic. Oh God, it's still full.
What you do? You destroyed your laptop.
So you see, I forget by all this time. So I have to tell the audience as well that I am now the proud owner of my own gallery. And this is my own mug, which is actually, Dirk, this is my caravan where I used to live 3 months at Adrigo. This is the shed, and these are the horses where I was surrounded by. For me, it's as well quite difficult to advertise for myself, but I have to learn that, because otherwise, I can't replace my teeth, So it's so as well, like this T-shirt here. This is it came yesterday.
All right,
and this is ArTEEtude. This is from this is actually my logo. Yeah. So I'm gonna start now with merchandising. Other people call it merchandising. I call it more an online gallery. Dirk, thank you very much, and dear listeners. So you find everything in the description. Take care.
Dad, I thank you. The time flew by. When I look on the clock, it's about we talked very long. Yeah. It's great. It was fun for me.
For me too. Thank you very much. Take care, Dirk.
Bye
Bye.
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 You have listened to ArTEEtude, West Cork's first art, fashion and design podcast. ArTEEtude, never so close again. That was too close.